Alright, my internet has stopped working, so there's no loading the previous video. So let's start on the next one, which is decorating a shirt. This shirt, which is a very old one that I mended and did some fixes on, and then did a really half-butted job of dyeing. And I want it to be beautiful and intricate and like this one, which I adore this one. I'm not going to pull that off. I mean, look at that. It's amazing. I'm not going to pull this off, but this is the idea, the inspiration. Now, one thing I hate about this shirt that I could undo is that if I'm wearing my hair down, this catches on my hair. See? And it's horrible. I do not like that. But feels good, right? So that's a short sleeve one, this a long sleeve one. So a box around the neckline, that's all I'm sure of so far. One of the bunnies went digging in my scraps box, and out came this incredibly long piece of already hemmed linen that I have no memory of whatsoever. But it seems like a nice, generous base. Like, I'll put it down everywhere I think I want to decorate, and then it marks the possible edge of my obligation to decorate. Seems like a good starting point. We're just, starting with the neck. Which means I'll absolutely be going in with scissors and just kind of following the existing seam line. We'll go up to the shoulder seam and just cut a curve right here. Alright, I'm feeling the front. I feel like we've got something to work with here. Tiny bands on the cuffs because it seemed purple. I hate the back because that is my shoulder line, and so it goes up and down, but it's the only thing that makes sense with the way I sewed the shirt. So I don't know, I've got a little more linen, a little more of that same piece of linen. So okay, that seems like it's bound to be an improvement, and now this linen is all used up, and now we need a plan. I will say, I was planning on using this random silk scrap, but now I feel like this needs to be darker, not pinker. Ooh, this is a piece of silk that I dyed back in college. That is interesting. And here's two pieces of plastic that I got from the tiny scraps bin at the craft secondhand shop. And well, darker, richer. That seems like it might have possibilities. Maybe for the front? Ooh, look, one of the already cut edges on this piece of plastic makes diamonds instead of squares. I like diamonds better. Crap. Is the 4 squares together too much coverage? One square wide? Might be. I'm pretty sure that I chose this one because it provides a pattern I can work within, because the next thing we're doing is going rummaging through the bead hoard. I will say I made sure to hold it back a little bit because I want to get like visual credit for the layering I'm doing. There's not any way to say this many beads will go this far, and that really bothers me. These are all nice too. Oh crap, that's 2 different sizes, isn't it? Okay, we're going to pretend that's not two different sizes, because no, I'm not dealing with that. These, though, could put one of these in the middle of each square diamond, and that's a really dramatic starting point. Oh yes, and yeah, I didn't want to stitch all the way from one to the next one, so I'm just adding a little bit of bead right here, and you know that looks so much better than it would with like just the beads there. The shape is adding something. And it's shiny. So far as process goes, I've got to the end of this stripe, and I wanted to secure the thread really well so the beads wouldn't leave, and I just started backstitching. And I think I like the added dimension. After doing our beautiful detail, we have this many left, and I want to use them up. I don't want to just put them in the miscellaneous bead container. That's just silly. Ooh, center of a flower. Yeah? And then maybe we can do floral whatnot to finish off the plain linen. That was more difficult than it had any right to be. Feel like it needs another layer before we start just with the regular embroidery. That's not going to be any easier. I'm sure filming this is a questionable decision. Alright, so when I'm doing, I don't know, beads like this. So on a few, depending on, vibes. There. Get a few more beads. And repeat. And then at least there's a chance of things looking smooth. So I started this, realized I hated it, took a break, did this on both the cuffs, so that's great. Came back, kept going. No, I still hate it. So I'm going to take tiny scissors and cut all this off, and then come up with a new plan. I decided to go for something, that hasn't happened until I tried to get in frame. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to go for something very, very simple, because at this point in the game, that seemed like the best plan. So, again, okay, I'm doing this off camera, because no, but yeah, that's what we're working with at the moment. I put all those gray beads on a string, and now I'm going to make a shape and couch it down, and then they'll all be used up, and I won't have to worry about running out halfway through a design. Around on the back, I got the biggest piece I could out of this fabric, and I actually am sorting them into the slightly bigger metal beads and the slightly smaller metal beads and sewing them on like that. And then I'll put the rest on the front, and then we'll have a reveal. I do not love this portion right here. I think my design skills just aren't where they need to be yet, but you know what? If I'd found this in an attic or an antique store, I'd be in love, right? And honestly, like this part and the trick of using this cheap, readily available fabric for organizing embroidery, I love that. So, yeah, reveal up next.
Now we're rolling.
Are we sure this time?
Yes.
Reasonably?
Reasonably.
Alright. It is 100 degrees out here. This is not nearly as terrible as it ought to be because linen, I suppose. So, look at me. I'm shiny. Also shiny, but less so. Okay, I think that's it.